If you're not paying or you're late, don't be like, well, they're not going to foreclose me for 12 months. I'll figure it out. I'll get a job. I would take advantage of these high home values right now, sell right now, and then go and take that cash. This is Byron Lazine and Nicole White, and you are tuned into episode 134 of The Real Word.
Word is up. Ooh, that was a good one. Did you hear that one?
Yeah, a little poppage.
A good pop.
The word is up, but the news is down a little bit. A little downer to start the show.
Well, I feel like every day's a little bit of a downer if you decide to let it go that way.
Racket number one. We got to keep it real, though. This is The Real Word.
Keeping it real.
We're not like that other show. Have you seen that other show?
Oh my God, have fun though. So The Real World, Real Word, and then our Marketeer is all...
It's bothering me. And the Marketeer is all what?
Well, it's all kind of like that 90s show.
A 90s theme show. That's true, except for this first one with the little... Anyway, we're The Real Word. We're not like that other show. Have you seen it? The BNN?
The BNN?
Yeah.
What's the BNN?
The Broke News Network.
I have not seen the BNN.
The Broke Agent started a news show called The Broke News Network.
Stop it.
You didn't see that?
No.
Oh, it's pathetic. You got to check it out.
Sounds it.
It's terrible.
I mean, BNN, it sounds like he's making fun of CNN.
Yeah. Broke News Network. They talk about nothing. We talk about the real stuff here. We're going to get into something real.
Oh.
And it's really disturbing.
Well, you just gave him a nice little plug there.
Yeah, I did. Racket number
You're
one.
welcome.
FHA mortgage delinquencies reach a record. A record. It's been a record-setting summer for real estate.
Well, it's been a record-setting 2020.
This is a bad record. That's led by New Jersey, according to Bloomberg. Realtor Mag, though, states that moratoriums keep foreclosures nearly non-existent. So two things happening here, Nicole.
I mean, we're just sort of at a standstill,
We've
right?
got a whole bunch of these delinquencies,
Yes.
but we have no foreclosures. How is that possible? So the FHA, which is the record that they're stating here on Bloomberg, obviously it's an affordable path to home ownership for many first-time home buyers. They're stating minorities and low-income Americans. It's now FHA has the highest delinquency rate in at least 4 decades. The share of FHA loans rose to almost 16% late payments on these FHA loans in the second quarter, which is up from about 9.7% the previous 3 months, and the highest level in records dating back to 79, the Mortgage Bankers Association stated this week. The delinquency rate for conventional loans, by comparison, was only 6.7%. So 16% of the FHA loans out there are late on their payments. Now, a couple things going on. Realtor Mag says these moratoriums, which is like mortgage forbearance and these kind of things.
Well, it's not actually a mortgage forbearance. It's more of a foreclosure forbearance.
Okay.
They can't go into foreclosure.
They can't go into foreclosure at the state and local level.
Right.
Federal level.
I think they're giving a 12-month freeze on
Foreclosures.
Thank you.
And so you've got that. You also have mortgage forbearance.
Right.
So my question is, and it doesn't state it here on Bloomberg, but my question is, if you took your forbearance as an FHA loan, does that also make you late?
Yeah, so scroll up to the top real quick. No, go down a little bit, right in the middle. State has also the biggest increase in overall late payment rate and forbearance, protecting many borrowers from foreclosures for now. So the forbearance is they're definitely playing. They're counting the forbearances in. Yes, absolutely.
Most of them are protected by the federal forbearance program, which borrowers with pandemic-related hardships can delay payments for as much as 1 year without penalty.
Yep.
As of August 9th, there was 3.6 million homeowners who were in forbearance, representing 7.2% of all loans.
Yep.
So there's people right now in FHA that are late, but they're not in forbearance because we only have 7.2%.
Right.
I don't understand that. The share has decreased for 9 weeks straight, so that number is going down.
Well, I think There's so much happening. I think forbearance is like a shorter amount of time, but the mortuarium is giving you a year. I mean, there's
if you're in,
so many.
no, you can get the forbearance in some cases up to a year.
Oh, is that what it's saying?
And I think that could be dependent on your bank.
I'm assuming because they were saying that it has to be COVID based. So I'm assuming that they're probably having to prove that they need a forbearance. Because I remember applying for forbearance back in 2008. Yeah. Right when like the whole.
Okay.
They let it during the forbearance period, which was like a 3-month period. We had to prove that we needed it, right? And then at the end of but during that forbearance period, they actually let us pay a reduced amount. But at the end of the 3 months, they concluded that we did not get approved for the forbearance. So on that 4th month, we actually had to pay our mortgage payment plus what they had decreased by. Yeah.
That's
so
brutal.
I don't think it's quite easy to get a forbearance, but maybe
I think it's a lot easier. I haven't done enough homework on it. There's a YouTube channel, Meet Kevin, who really breaks down the forbearance quite well. He says, I mean, certainly if you're one, he says it is easy to state the claim that you're COVID impacted right now. So a lot different than 08.
Of course.
So shout out to that channel, anybody that watches that. But my point here is if you are late on your FHA loan, or you have clients who are late on their FHA loan, you should be looking into forbearance if you haven't already. Like, you should have done that months ago. I don't know why you would be late and not in forbearance. Side note there.
Yeah.
But here's the deal. Even as these mortgage delinquencies, these late payments that we're talking about, are climbing, the foreclosures are basically non-existent. Foreclosures, in fact, are way down.
Right.
Foreclosure filings are way down because they literally can't foreclose.
Freeze. Right.
If you look, and there's a great map here from Adam, ATTOM Data Solutions. It's a Realty Track and ATTOM Data Solutions report, which will show you in July 2020, the U.S. foreclosure starts by county. And we can populate that right here. And it's certainly in the Realtor Mag link if you look it up below.
So what is that red? Is that LA?
That is LA. LA had the highest. Okay. So LA County had the most in July. Okay. Foreclosure starts. See, now in July, there was 8,892 properties received a foreclosure filing. That's down though from about 15,000, one out of every, down 83% from a year ago. There's the number. It's down 83% from a year ago.
Yeah.
So if these lates are at a record high for FHA,
right,
if other people are late, other people are in forbearance, and we don't know what's going to happen with the job market between now and say next year,
right,
these foreclosures are piling up. We're faced with a situation where next year, sometime maybe third quarter, maybe fourth quarter of 2021, where we could see an explosion of foreclosures.
Right. I think though what you need to be very clear on though is even though if there are a significant amount of foreclosures, it doesn't mean that they're hitting the market though either. So I think we have to be clear there because I think so many buyers are like, do I wait till next year till all these foreclosures happen? But even if people are foreclosing, it doesn't mean that they're then going to be available to buy. But if you also look at those numbers, I have so many questions reading this now. Because it sounds like that there were so many that started in July, right? So it's almost like maybe those people were already late prior to COVID, right? Because you would think that if they're talking about this 12-month freeze and this 12-month forbearance period, you know, I mean, if there's a tick in July, it's all. I
don't know. No, I think this is all COVID related. Yeah. I think it looks like. I mean, I didn't have any information that we were creeping up on late payments before March. Maybe we were because people lost jobs instantly.
Right.
So Matthew Gardner, chief economist of Windermere Real Estate, told Realtor.com, there will be some fallout, of course, but I don't think it will be enough to cause housing prices to drop. Here's the thing. Here locally, we've increased 16% since this time last year in housing prices.
How does that make you feel?
Someone that owns real estate in the area makes me feel good.
Yeah.
But obviously, if you're buying right now, it might not make you feel great. Here's the other thing. For homeowners, because this has happened a lot in the country, their home values have gone up. We could see, now this economist is saying that he doesn't think house prices are going to drop even if we have a bunch of foreclosures next year in 2021. from this point until next year, 2021, with a lack of inventory, with a competitive market, we're seeing multiple offers, we could continue to see home prices rise. So even if they do, let's just say they do drop, we know if the interest rate goes up a point, real estate's going to drop 10%.
Of course.
Right? 1 point interest rate, real estate values drop 10%. Maybe the interest rates go up. Maybe we have a bunch of foreclosures and we drop 10, 15, maybe, please don't do it, 20%. But we'll just basically be erasing
back where we were.
The last 18 months of gains.
So it sounds like a bubble. I mean, we talk about bubbles. Usually bubbles last years, but this is like a quick little blip. Is what you're thinking.
I don't know. Well, I'm not thinking. I don't know about that.
I don't know about any of it. I mean,
Bubble's
is very
a scary
interesting.
Word.
Bubble
it's like
is,
shanks and
well,
golf.
that's why. I mean, obviously, when you start hearing about 16% increases over a year, that's why I asked you how you feel, because that actually scares me a little bit. I mean, we like healthy markets. We like 4%. We like 5% over a year. Personally, again, when you hear 16%, it is a little scary. I can't deny it. But I agree with you. I think that. Again, and I feel like we've been talking about this the last few weeks, even though the prices are increasing by the 16%, like you're saying, the interest rates have come down. So you're pretty much, your monthly expense is pretty much the same. But I agree. I mean, I think if it does come down, we're just kind of back at where we were before, which was still a very healthy market. I mean, at least where we were, 2020 was, slated to be healthy anyway. So
the good news is we're going to be pacified here. I guess it's good news. I mean, I think a lot of people would rather rip the Band-Aid off on this economy, but they're printing so much money. They are not allowing foreclosures to happen. So for the next 12 months, you're pretty good. You've got time to make necessary moves, real estate investors.
You would hope that, though, the homeowners are doing what they need to do, too. I mean, if you're not paying your mortgage, again, there's just so many different situations.
If you're not paying your mortgage right now,
you got to really get your shit figured out. Well, it's going to come quick.
If you're not paying or you're late, don't be like, well, they're not going to foreclose me for 12 months. I'll figure it out. I'll get a job. I would take advantage of these high home values right now, sell right now, and then go and take that cash, because if this thing if the bottom falls out and there's foreclosures next year, and if we can't get the economy back on track between now and next year, you could see a lot of foreclosures. It will have an impact on the market. And if you lose this 15, 10, 20% in home value gains that you've gotten the last year,
right,
you may be in a situation where you can't now sell, and then you're going into foreclosure, and then you're 7 years of bad credit.
Well, and then you just lose all your money.
Yeah. All right, Racket number 2. We're going to go through these 8 seller beliefs that no longer hold true today. This is an Inman opinion piece from Kara Amir. All right, Nicole, you're going to say Racket or not Racket. Number 1.
Wait, what is the headline again? These are things that no longer hold true today.
Correct.
Okay.
All right.
Yes.
If I price it high, they will still come.
Okay.
That does hold true today. You just probably aren't going to get the offers in the multiple offer situations that you want. So that's a Racket.
You're definitely not getting.
You can price it high and you're still going to get buyers. So I disagree. This is a Racket.
Okay, so I'm still trying to process. What do you think is a Racket?
So
you think that they can still list high?
So say the home value is worth $400,000.
Yes. Yep.
And they want to list at $430,000. Are you still going to get showings? Yes or no?
Oh, of course.
Yeah, and she's saying that's not true.
Yeah, you will get showings.
So I'm disagreeing there. So.
Yeah, and I'm agreeing with you there, because you will, again, you just won't sell quickly or have multiple offers.
Correct.
Right.
And you might actually get less in the end than you would have
had you listed at
$399 and drove the price up to say $420,000.
Right.
All right, so we disagree there in one Racket. Number 2, we agree, but we disagree with her.
Yes.
Racket number 2, open houses bring ready, willing, and able buyers.
I think that
So she's saying that is no longer the case.
Oh, I don't think that was ever the case. You think that was ever the case? I don't think that was ever the case. I think right now, if you're actually putting your house on the market and the open house is part of your marketing strategy in that first week, then yes, you are bringing ready and able buyers.
In the first week, if you're like, not allowing showings until then. The serious buyers in this market know how competitive it is. They're not wasting their time with an open house. They're setting up direct showings instantly.
Well, yeah, but sellers are also savvy enough where they want to get as many offers as they can, because they can. So an open house would actually, in my mind, be probably the most, so that you're not having to be at your house all day. Like, everyone needs to come between these 2 hours. I'm only showing it on Sunday. Bring them all in. Drop off your offer on your way out.
That, or a down market, obviously open houses are effective for, or new development. I think when you're in a single family, median price point, and everything's selling, don't even waste your time.
She's saying let it go, huh?
Let it go.
I'm feeling like bring it back.
Bring it back. Jeez. All right. Number 3, why do I need, but I do agree with her that we're not seeing, an increase in like ready, able, willing buyers.
Willing and ready, yeah.
Number 3, why do I need to substantially improve my home before putting it on the market? It is what it is. So she's saying that no longer is the case. You need to have your home substantially improved before you put it on the market.
Significantly.
Substantially.
I'd love to know what she means by substantially. I do think you need to improve your home. I think the substantially word is making it a little bit difficult. Like you can't just like.
I mean, in this market, if it's move-in ready, you can sell it.
Well, right, but again, what makes it move-in ready? I mean, like a lot of homes needs to be like repainted on the inside or like trim or
I think like move-in ready, you don't paint and trim is.
No, but I'm saying it is move-in ready because they've done those things to make it move-in ready is my point. So if someone was to walk in my house right now, they are not buying it. I mean, there are things that you need to do regardless.
I would agree. If you want to maximize your value, you got to do some things. So I guess I'll half agree with her there. Number 4, show me the money. Meaning sellers are starting to like say they've done all these improvements, but you really got to show and list out everything you've done and realize that if you put in a pool for $100,000, you're not getting $100,000 out of the pool.
Right.
Do you agree?
You're not getting $100,000 for your pool.
No. So I agree with her. Show me the money is gone. You got to really show what you've done. And like if you put it on a new roof, you're not getting that money back.
You need a roof. It's like a furnace.
Yeah.
It makes it more marketable, but doesn't make it more valuable.
More repairs, ? Many sellers still balk at the idea that a buyer might come at them with a repair request after inspections. They'll argue that their home isn't new. My home's not new. They want a new space. They should go buy new.
So they're saying that's out. I do think that's out. I do think that buyers are so... I don't want to use the word desperate, but I'm going to use it. Desperate to get into a home and get a home, and because they know that they're in these bidding war situations. So you're disagreeing with her. Well, she's saying that that's out. See, this is where we're maybe I'm not following. She's saying more repairs is out.
Someplace
these
warm.
are all the things
These are things sellers need to get
like
out.
8 sellers
where beautiful women instinctively flock like the salmon of Capistrano.
I think that buyers are not asking for repairs.
I'm talking about a little place.
I would agree with you.
Yeah. Ugh, you picked this one.
This is a hard one.
This one is a hard one. It's making our brains work.
Listen. I think in this market, as we see here in August 2020, there are a lot of repairs that are going, I'll take care of it later because it's just so competitive. So
yeah, absolutely.
I don't think you actually have to do all the repairs. You have to do certain ones.
Yeah.
Number 6, can I give a flooring allowance at closing? She's saying that this is out, that you need to just do the flooring.
Oh.
You can't give a flooring allowance at closing as part of the official closing process. Any concession granted from a seller to a buyer is best accomplished by the seller either reducing the purchase price accordingly or paying a certain amount towards a buyer closing costs.
I totally disagree.
Okay. Another one. Man, poor Cara here.
How do you feel about it?
I think allowances are stupid.
Well,
unless you're in new construction.
No. So I agree with you. I think though, maybe not an allowance, but like a credit. Maybe you do like a flooring credit. I guess allowance is maybe the wrong word, but I think that if you offer out the credit, you're at least acknowledging the fact that your floorings are bad.
I agree.
But then it's part of the negotiation. Like 9 times out of 10, that credit is like out the window once you're negotiating.
I agree with her. This is very old school thinking. It doesn't make any sense unless you're doing new construction.
Okay.
Market your product as a move-in ready product if it's a resale home. Don't the carpets are gross, we're going to give you a carpet allowance. Just change the carpets.
Right. I guess the allowance was the wrong. I don't ever use the word allowance.
And you get the money out of it. Number 7.
Well, unless they don't want to spend the money.
Well, that's the problem.
Well,
you could do like our brokerage, William Ravis. They have Ravis Refresh where they'll come in and paint and do the flooring.
If you have equity.
Right. Okay. Number 7, more marketing means more buyers willing to pay my price. When a home isn't selling, sellers may think they need more marketing. However, they often can't really quantify what that means and don't understand what tactics may or may not get tangible results. So, do you think more marketing equals more money in the sale?
I do think that marketing obviously plays a huge role, but if we're talking about like 3-4 months out, like clearly you have a price issue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Price is driving the market, and your strategy within that price, right? If it's worth $410, maybe in your market you're listing at $399 to create a competitive environment where you get up to $420, so more buyers see it. Like it's all about working with an agent that can market your home better than anybody else in the marketplace, but also one that understands exactly what to do, when to do it, how to do it in each market.
Well, this would be true if your agent wasn't marketing you yet.
Yeah.
Number
8, every buyer who sees my home must want to buy it. Of course not. That's crazy talk.
That is crazy talk.
So yes, I would agree with her that sellers should have that out of their head.
Yeah.
And they should also, sellers, please don't get all uptight when you don't get feedback and your agent is spending all their time now chasing this one showing that you need the feedback for, and they haven't given you feedback in a month or a week or 3 days or whatever the case may be. It's because they hated your home. All right. They didn't like your home.
I mean, it is certainly helpful as an agent to get the feedback, but if they're not giving you feedback, they don't like your house.
And don't be offended by that. If you're emotionally attached to your house, keep it.
Wow.
That would be
the bomb? Is that the bomb for the day?
No, that's my advice.
Keep
All right.
it.
Marketeer of the week. This is from Business Insider. The last remaining Blockbuster on Earth, which happens to be in Oregon, will be listed on Airbnb for a limited time in September for just $4 per night.
It doesn't even make any sense.
You have got to flip through these photos. They have set up a 90s style living room. It's got a 90s TV, a VCR. You're in the Blockbuster.
You're in it.
It starts on August 17th, so it just started. Bookings will be open to the public on August 17th for these $4 a night stays in September.
I would just book the whole month. Like if I was the first person to get on Airbnb to do this on the 17th, what's the date today? Wasn't that yesterday?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah. I mean, wouldn't you? I would just book the whole month. It's $120. I'd leave a kid there. Do they let you leave your kid? Like, all right, kids.
I do not understand the $4, but here's why they're the Marketeer of the week. First of all, these pictures are hilarious. You got to go through. They got they even have like the 90s style Doritos bags. I don't know how they got that. It's really, really cool.
You're loving the bedspread.
I love the bedspread. You feel like you are back in the 90s.
You're like in the basement.
Here's where I do think they're getting so much attention. It's brilliant. It's not just Business Insider; they're everywhere. So that's why they're Marketeer of the week. They just got so much free publicity for the last standing Blockbuster, which means because they sell Blockbuster T-shirts online. This particular last standing Blockbuster, they sell mugs and different collector Blockbuster items.
Yep.
So all this free publicity out of these $4 limited time Airbnbs should drive to merch sales for them, which is good. Merch. Oh, buzzword right there.
Merch.
Well, merch sale. She has some real word merch.
We're too old for that. Merch.
Here's the other thing too. I think that this is a brilliant idea for a real estate investor to say, you know what's a nostalgic brand that I could invest in and actually turn into a legit Airbnb where it's an Airbnb year round.
Right.
How cool would that be?
Yeah, I mean, as long as there's no like trademark infringements,
Airbnbs.
or I'm sure there are probably some. There's some,
like if a business goes out of what's a business that just went out of business, like a JCPenney. I don't think they have that much fan following, but something that recently went out of business that people used to love back in the day. If you create, even if you just buy a single family home and create this theme around that, like a 90s living room.
I think what would be a little bit more fun in those types of situations though is not necessarily sleeping there, because I don't find it like euphoric to sleep in a Blockbuster. But if
movie buffs probably do.
Probably, but again, because you can get movies on Netflix and all, maybe not. But I think what is sort of fun is maybe it's more of like a dining experience or like a coffee house experience, something where you're experiencing it because again, I don't need to sleep there. It is fun. But I think for people to continue to come back, there needs to be.
I think themed Airbnbs is going to be a next wave.
Of course. Well, look at Disney World. I mean, every hotel is themed. Yeah. Every restaurant is themed. Like, people love it. Kids, you have to get, like...
If you've got funky, wild, ridiculous real estate, you should be thinking Airbnb. Okay. Airbnb did not take as much of a hit during the... Rona as I thought it was going to.
No, well, there was a restriction, but what we found though is that so many people needed 30 days. Right. They didn't, they weren't looking for 1, 2, 3, 4 days anymore. They were looking for like months. Yeah. So Anyway, congratulations, Blockbuster and
Bend, Oregon.
We'll have to take a trip out there.
Yeah, very cool.
Again, I'm the $4
Costs
thing is
you more
blowing
than
my mind because I would just rent it for the whole month.
Costs you way more to get out there. All right.
For sure.
That's
this
episode for this week.
Yep.
Keep
you
it
feel
real,
good
guys.
about it?
I feel great about it.
Good.
All right. See ya.
Bye, guys.